Hi everyone, welcome to Awkward Author. My name is Alyssa Grasso, and this is my weekly vlog and podcast about my sometimes awkward, always awesome author life. If you're watching this as a video, I do apologize. I'm just dressed in sweats and pretty casual today. It's actually Monday. I normally record on Tuesdays. It's just going to be one of those weeks, so I decided in order to get everything in that I need to get in and get everything done that I need to get done, I will record this Monday, so a day early. And I don't know, just me trying to roll with the punches and, get everything done. So it's been I guess it's a little bit more hectic than normal. It is a holiday here in the U.S., sort of holiday. I don't know, some people have off for it. Obviously, I don't have off because I'm self-employed, but I think I hardly ever worked a job where I had off for Columbus Day. But there are people who have off, and for some reason, this apparently is, at least around here, everyone's got the leaf blowers out and has the chainsaws out, and they're making as much noise as they can possibly make outside. Now the windows are closed, so hopefully the noise doesn't get picked up, but if you hear any roaring noises in the background, that's just because every person on this street has decided they're going to take care of noisy yard maintenance today. So I do have a caution, a warning for you. If you haven't seen any of the buzz about this online and you are a Mac user and a Scrivener user, do not update to the latest Mac operating system, Catalina, I believe it's called, because at the moment, Scrivener will not work with it. They have not yet produced an update for Scrivener that'll work with the new operating system. And you probably know this, at least I know when I was logging into Scrivener, just about every other time I opened up the program, I was getting a warning message, from my computer from Apple that said, this software needs to be updated. It won't work with new Mac operating systems or whatever it said, something to that effect. So anyway, the Catalina update is available. Don't install it yet, because you will not have functionality with Scrivener. I mean, I think you can always go back, but just don't waste your time with it. It'll just be a headache. And I've heard, reports about other software not working with, Adobe, the Creative Suite, I guess Illustrator, Photoshop, that sort of thing, does not seem to be working with Catalina at the moment. I think the design software I use, I know they just had an update recently. I think that actually will work with the new the new operating system, but I'm not even sure. And honestly, my computer, my Mac is it's a few years old. It's been out there some time. My boyfriend always makes fun of it because if you know how a Mac looks, it has a black keyboard, and I don't know if I can show it to you on the video here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but a lot of my letters are worn off. Well, the letters I use the most, apparently, for typing. I mean, there's a big worn off spot on the space bar, and then my E, my A, my S, apparently my C. Do I use a lot of C's? I don't know, but my C's worn off. What is that, an N? L? It might just be because of the way, certain fingers rest, because that's also an H that's worn off, and I mean, obviously every time you type the word "the," you use an H, but my T is fine. So, it's just, I guess, where your fingers sit when you're typing or something. But anyway, if you're a touch typist, it's not really a problem. If you're someone who's not and you're trying to use my computer, you're like, where is the E? Because you can't see it. So, anyway, but my computer's been out there. It's a few years old and it works okay. But I have noticed it's getting a bit laggy, and as new programs come out and they use more and more operating memory, it's putting a drain on, the power that I have. So at some point I will need to upgrade, but hopefully not anytime soon, because that's not really, in my plan for the immediate future anyway. Speaking of plans and writing, I still have not made writing progress on the book that I'm working on, this third book in the trilogy, because I'm still fine-tuning that outline and figuring out the outline, and I was gonna like dive in and start writing, and I was like, you know what, this is what happened to me before. Like I kind of dove in and started writing too soon, and then ran into problems. So I really want to make sure that I'm happy with the outline, that it's all, I mean, it's pretty much all complete. I just maybe want to tweak a few things here and there, and then I think I'm good to go as far as diving in and writing. Again, like I originally had a deadline for myself, not a deadline, I guess, but a goal of finishing it by the middle of October. Forget that. I don't know when my goal is, and I'm not even going to say the end of October now, because like I said, I have not made any writing progress, and it's getting to a time of year for me where I get a little bit busier with day job stuff, so I can't, I can't put the stuff that makes me money on the back burner to work on the writing. So I will fit in writing time where I'm able to, and that goal will just have to get pushed back, and I'll have to figure out, as far as setting a new goal. I'm not really, it's just I'm getting to the point where things are very busy right now. I guess the latter half of October, the month of November is a very busy month for me, and certainly the first part of December is pretty busy for me because I sell stuff on the internet, and this is the time of year when everybody is buying stuff on the internet and everywhere. If you're in retail, this is like you make more than half your money in, basically 2 months' time. More than half the money you're going to make for the year kind of thing. It's a crazy way the world works, and Christmas shopping is a wonderful thing if you're selling online, but it's a little bit stressful because of the time constraints and making sure you got to do a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I mean, that's, I'm not working on that stuff full time or anything. Well, it's my main source of income, but it's not like I put 40 hours a week, I don't think, into it, but I will be putting more hours into it as we get into this busy season kind of thing. And then of course there's just other stuff that comes up. So like I have something I got to work on today, which wasn't really planning on. Like it was one of those things where I kind of had to be like, I have to be flexible and do things as I'm able to. So that's what I need to work on today. Although I'm at a point where I can't work on some stuff that I want to work on because I need to, I have some technical questions, and until those technical questions are answered, I can't really move on. So, that's what I'm recording right now. Fit in stuff as I'm able to do it, and like recording now because I'm going to be busy tomorrow and figure, well, I'll just get done today. Meanwhile, I'm in sweats because I have to, later have to pack up boxes and do all that work that's, not exactly glamorous, but it needs to get done. But I think this is one of the challenges of being a non-full-time writer, which I think I know a lot of us are in that boat. And so, we have all these things that we have to do, all these, responsibilities and things that actually make us money or whatever, even if it's not something that makes you money, just something that you have to do, because it's, whether you're a mom or dad taking care of kids, or, you have other, chores and stuff you need to do. And so the challenge can be finding that time to get the writing stuff done, because I think it does feel a little bit like almost like a luxury to me. I don't know if you have that issue. I've gotten better about this, but for so long I was someone that wrote without necessarily bringing in an income from writing. So writing was something I did for fun, and I still do it for fun. But there's, also long-term goals as far as earning a living from it. And so, it's hard for me to, even like be like, well, I want to write, but, I got to do other things. I have tasks that I have to do. So writing something I'll do, as a treat kind of thing. And I still kind of have that mentality. I'm getting better about it. But it is something that, it's something I've had, how can I put it? It's a mindset that I've had for some time, and it's tough to kind of break myself free from that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying writing. That's not what I need to break free from. But what I need to break free from is the thinking that, like, well, it's something I can only do, once I've done everything else. And you'll hear people joke on like Twitter and stuff like this, like, writers under deadlines have the cleanest houses and stuff like that, because they do things to kind of procrastinate about writing. And I don't really feel like that's my issue, but more the issue that, like, writing is like, spending an afternoon reading a book or something. It's fun, but it's a treat yourself kind of thing, as opposed to a, get stuff done kind of thing. Whereas, I have now gotten to the point where I do make some money from my books, so I do have to kind of switch my mindset into thinking about it as something that's actually a productive thing, and not just, something I'm doing to, goof off and have fun. By the way, I should warn you, I was just sitting here a few minutes ago, and I heard a clunk noise, and I, looked down the ground, and I found this big bolt that apparently fell out of the chair that I'm now sitting in. So at any point, this whole thing could collapse, but hopefully it doesn't, and hopefully I can just figure out where that went and put it back together. But yeah, as you hear my squeaky chair, hopefully it doesn't squeak itself right apart. But yeah, occupational hazard of being a writer. Yeah, thinking about, changing habits and changing mindsets and stuff like that. As a writer, one thing that I think is sort of a bad habit that I've pretty much, not completely, but pretty much broken myself of is being the sort of person who can compulsively starts new projects. And what I mean is, there's nothing wrong with starting a new project. There's a problem if, you have, 20 unfinished novels, sitting on your hard drive, and then you're like, ooh, I had a good idea, I'm going to start working on that. Because that was something I used to do quite a bit, and you get ideas all the time. There's nothing wrong with getting ideas, but I've trained myself to, when I have a new idea, rather than, starting working on a whole book, what I do is I have a notes file, which I keep in Scrivener, and, have different like folders for all the different ideas I have, and then, when I have this idea, jot down, everything that I need to jot down about it, even maybe partial scenes and stuff like that, rather than, going on to, start another book, because 20 unfinished books doesn't really help you any as an author. You actually need finished books to make money as an author. And so, starting something and, putting, it down on paper is or on the computer, whatever, is great. But if it's just gonna be like 5 chapters and then you move on to something else, it doesn't really help you any. And I don't know, I find the easiest thing to do is to start a book. The beginning is really easy. The ending, it can be pretty easy too. Not quite as easy as the beginning. It's that middle part that really trips you up. And that's really what I was running into, with the book I was working on. I was at 28,000 words on it, and I was like, oh, I'm right basically smack dab in the middle of this thing. And I was struggling. And the reason I was struggling was really my own fault, not really. I'd outlined, but I hadn't done a good job of outlining, and I wasn't happy with the outline I created. So, I did go back, and I think what I have now is much stronger. But yeah, what I was saying is that I've really tried to break myself of that, constantly starting new projects thing. And, so I can't break myself of having ideas, and I don't want to stop having ideas, obviously. But being able to just kind of like jot down the notes, have them there, and, when I want to go back to something, I can. And some of the stuff, like some of the books that I'm working on now, are coming from ideas that I jotted down a while ago. Some of this, stuff that I jot down, like I go back to it and I'm like, what was I even talking about? Or I'm like, that's not even a very good idea. Why would I even think that was a good idea, kind of thing. But other stuff I'm like, and you'll, I don't know how you are, but, I might have an idea, jot it down, kind of forget about it, and then years later I'll be thinking about something. I was like, oh wait, and I can find my notes and see what I was thinking about, and I might have completely different ideas about it, when I go back to it with fresh eyes. But that might even make for a stronger book. But yeah, that's all that's going on this week. I guess a little bit of a shorter episode as I squeeze this in between all the other crazy stuff that I have to do. So, got quite a bit of work to do today, and none of it is really writing related. I don't know that I'll even get any writing time in today. And normally I do write on Mondays, but I just don't have really the time budgeted for it today, and probably won't tomorrow either, which is why I'm recording this today, because I know tomorrow's gonna be kind of hectic too. Maybe Wednesday I'll actually sit down and get some writing done. We'll see. Who knows what'll come up before then, but that is my hope. And so, like I said, don't have a timeline or goal or anything set, because it's just gonna, it's gonna be just like one of those deadlines that just goes right past me, because I know, I've been doing this long enough to know that it gets a little busy this time of year, and I just have to do what I can to, try to juggle everything and stay, get what I need to get done, and, balance tasks. Things that can get, put off are going to get put off. It's just how it has to go. So I'm still planning on putting out this trilogy in 2020, hopefully putting out some other books in 2020 as well, which would be pretty impressive since I have published no books in 2019. So 2020 is going to be it's going to be a pretty good year, I think. But right now it's still October, so I'm thinking way ahead right now, and that's kind of hurting my brain. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys again next week. Thank you, as always, for watching and listening to my little show here. Again, I apologize for the grubby outfit, but, I gotta be hauling boxes of, merchandise around a little bit. So, anyway, I will, like I said, I'll talk to you next week. Have a great week, everyone, and hopefully things aren't quite as hectic for you as they are for me. Bye for now.